We bought our RV while I was still working full time, so we didn't use it much that first year. Should we have waited? So, should we have waited? Maybe. But we weren't expecting a giant pandemic to shut down everything. But who did? We also didn't expect all of the delays the pandemic would cause, like no vans being available. I mean, Mercedes closed down plants due to pandemic concerns, and ProMaster vans were promised to Amazon, so they weren't selling to anyone else. Ford Transit vans were not being made because a fire halted production of Japanese microchips. And due to supply chain issues, there were many other products used in van builds that were delayed or completely unavailable, so RVs just couldn't be built. And now, there are multiple supply chain delays that make it difficult to even consider a van build. Supplies that do get through sit waiting even more and are not getting where they need to go because of a shortage of transport. Beyond all of that, we'd experienced a major ice storm, Uri, and had total power failure in Texas. Well, power's out again. We're living by candlelight, and it's going to get a little cold. And cold out, and no power. Again, we keep getting blackouts. So we'll get a little bit of power for a while, then we'll go out. I think they're doing what's called rolling blackouts. There was no electricity, no water, and nowhere to go since hotels were shut down, as was the rest of the city. The RV would have given us heat and safety, which we had lost during the freeze, so we were motivated to get an RV for that reason alone. If you're in the market for an RV, you need to think about how an RV fits in with your plans. A lot of people may try to answer why they want an RV, but I think that's too general a question, even if it seems a simple question to answer. When you ask it, people tend to say things like, "Sounds like fun."
It was fun.
But then they have no real follow-up, nothing that supports their belief that it's fun. Better questions to ask are, what issues have come up in previous travel that you think an RV would solve? That's a good one because you're approaching this as problem solving as opposed to just a gut feeling. You could also ask yourself, how will your travel style change in an RV? This is an important question to answer. An RV is a very different way to travel compared to a car or a plane, so you need to make sure the RV style fits into your expectations of travel. And of course ask, what are your priorities? What must the RV come with, like appliances or air conditioning, or what must it do to make you happy? Are you going to drive in rough terrain or staying at RV parks? These are really different types of travel and will influence what your RV needs to be able to do. Of course, the unicorn of RVs is the one that fulfills all your needs, your wants, and has all those cool options. But that would be perfection. Take the time to research things like different types of RVs, like Class Bs, travel trailers, and truck campers, considering what type you may be most interested in. Review the issues each may have, like cost of repair, or dealing with toilets, or how it handles while driving. Think about the solutions that may be solved by having an RV, like finding out-of-the-way places to stay, or saving on expensive hotels, or whatever else is concerning you. And consider what advantages owning an RV may have over other styles of travel, like the expense and hassle of airlines or traveling with conveniences like a full fridge of food. If you can, go visit RV shows or RV dealers and sit in those RVs. Lay on the beds, sit in the driver's seat, a place you'll be in a lot, and get a general feel of the layout. Does it work for you? Is the bed the right size, in the right place, facing the right way? Does the toilet work the way you want it to? Is there a place to relax, to work online, or whatever you'll be doing as you travel? And finally, rent an RV for at least a week. Renting for that long means you are immersed in the RV travel experience, and that's important to understand. Think about it. If you own an RV, you'll probably be traveling in it for a couple of weeks, if not longer. So you need to see if you're really comfortable with that style of travel. The worst thing that could happen is spending all that money on an RV only to find out you really hate RV travel. Once you've done your research and narrowed down the choices to a very few, it's time to think about expenses. An RV isn't cheap. Some can cost the price of a house, so you really need to look at your finances and figure out what it's going to really cost to get that RV. If you need a loan, factor that expense in. Remember that throughout the lifetime of the loan, you could easily pay for half an RV just in interest. So be careful when considering loans of any kind. Now, I'm not saying don't get a loan or only buy an RV if you have the entire cost in your bank account, but do consider other options like shorter term loans, 10 years instead of 20, or make a much larger down payment so you don't have to get as big a loan. Also, consider other expenses like hoses and filters and camping chairs and whatever else you're going to take with you on your RV trips. You could spend a couple of grand just on that stuff. And then there's the yearly repairs and maintenance to take into account as well. Tires don't last forever, and sooner or later you'll be spending money on 4 or more of them. Like I said, an RV isn't cheap. We just took the RV to St. Augustine, Florida for a couple of days, and I could easily see us just flying in, getting a rideshare to a hotel in the main part of town, and buying tickets on the tourist trolley to go see the sights. No need for an RV. And sure, flying can be a pain, but the expense of a $100,000 RV can pay for a lot of flying. If this is the style of travel you would like to experience, an RV may not be the best solution for your needs. On the other hand, we've taken the RV to little towns and out-of-the-way places that would be difficult to get to using a rideshare service, and far enough to make using a car to drive all that way less than ideal. So with that style of travel, an RV makes more sense. So, should you get an RV? It all depends on what you're going to do with it. Ask the questions. Do the research. And go rent one to see if an RV is in your future. Be seeing you.